Fire away. Malcolm first.
Well, Coach, just obviously the play caller, it sounds like will change with the OC being suspended for the first game. So from a prep standpoint, what does that kind of do for you and your staff?
Yeah, not much. I think obviously the new play caller was at ODU, so you go back and look at his stuff a little bit, his background, and I think actually going back to Lenore Ryan days, he was the offensive coordinator at Alderson Broadus. We played him back in 2013. So the history there goes back pretty good ways. But I don't think it changes who their players are, who their identity is, or what they really want to do with football. I think they're going to be who they are and who they have been over the last couple of seasons, which is pounding football. Obviously, they keep talking about they want to be more balanced. I think they've been 60-40 run to pass. Obviously, J.J. McCarthy is a really good quarterback, and they want to be more balanced 50-50. But at the same time, they've been very successful doing what they do. So we prepared for both, a little bit more passing game, but at the same time prepared to what we see on film is what we're going to get to.
I don't know if it's going to change much for you, the rules where the clock doesn't stop after first down. I guess if an offense team subs, you can still sub and all that. I mean, is there going to be any impact on your defense with the new rule?
Yeah, hopefully, when we get the lead, then that clock just runs as fast as possible, and we play as very few snaps as possible defensively. I think, really the big thing for us defensively we looked at is probably going to take about 5 snaps is what they're estimating average on defensively. So if you're playing an average of 64 snaps, now you're going to play about 59, more the NFL model. But other than that, the clock still stops inside of 2 minutes, pretty normal there. So you might play a few less snaps a game, but other than that, it's not going to have much impact defensively, how we go about our business or how we maybe call the game or affect things there. So offensively, those guys may look at it differently, but defensively, you just kind of always react to what you get anyways.
A lot of talk about their O-line, and rightfully so. I mean, they're good, they're big up front, but you feel like your defensive line especially kind of relishes this challenge and going up against such a group with high accolades?
I think our whole team does. Our whole team is excited about the opportunity. I was respect our opponents and respect the O-line and the offense and who they are and what they've been able to accomplish. But they're excited for the opportunity to go play against the O-line like that and play against the O-line has won the top O-line in the nation the last 2 seasons, and certainly got the dudes to do it again. But they're excited for that challenge to see where they're at and see how they match up against those guys. So, and I think that's across the board, not just their O-line, but Blake Harrell, Devontae Edwards, the receivers. All those guys. They're excited to go play against some, the best in the nation. So just see where they're at.
Did maybe facing something similar last year against NC State prepare you for getting after an O-line like that?
Yeah, I think NC State came in here 13th in the country. Really good football team. Some people had them predicted in the final playoff picture there, and it may have been if they hadn't had injuries. And the quarterback suffered some injuries, and they had some struggles there. And the tailback we saw face did as well. But I think in all those scenarios, those experiences prepare you for the future. Whether it's NC State, whether it's Cincinnati, whether it's UCF, whoever it may be, those big ball games prepare you for big ball games like this. Obviously, going on the road in front of 100-something thousand may be a little bit different. But once you kick off, the field's the same size, same length, same width, all that stuff. So you got to focus on your job. Focus on what's important in that play for you. I think I've said this before. If you've seen a lot, all this, fans, 107, 110,000, whatever it is, you see very little. But if you see little, you see a lot. And that's just focusing on my job, my key, and playing my responsibility.
Coach, obviously you can't give too much away, but with such a large offensive line, do you kind of prioritize stopping the run more in practice based on your pressure defense, or is it just kind of a mix of both, to stay honest?
Yeah, they do obviously do a really good job running the football, and got 2 good tailbacks to do that, a good O-line to do that. So we got to have various ways to take care of the run game, and I think where they get a lot of the running yards, if you go back and watch the tape, is in the second half. They just kind of wear on people and then wear them down in the fourth quarter. You'll see a 10-10 ball game. All of a sudden you look up and it's 31-10, and they just kind of wear on somebody misses a gap, and they have the ability to break it out and take it to the house. So you got to have various weapons to take in. I don't think you can sit there and play them, one way all game, or at least that's not our philosophy right now. So you got multiple ways, whether it's pressure or your base defense to throw at them, because they're very good. I think if you just throw one thing at them, one pitch at them all day, they're probably going to hit that one out of the park. So you better have multiple pitches, and they better be good ones too.
With Julius and Tegan on the back end, what does it mean to have that experience in their second year, really playing a lot together? Have you kind of seen them communicate better, grow?
Yeah, I think Julius Wood and Tegan, both experienced football players, started a bunch of games in pirate uniforms, and just the way they communicate, the way they run things in the back end, and you kind of look to those guys for their leadership, not only just to get us lined up, communicate back there and kind of run the secondary, but also just when adversity hits, those guys have been through that, and they kind of take charge and take pride of, hey, I've been through this, I've been battle tested, and the other guys feed off that. When Julius Woods rolling and going, and Tegan Wilkes, on his game, it kind of feeds, and I think you see the other 11 guys, and you see that up front too. Those front four have had that same experience. They've been battle tested. They played in big ball games, and it's the same deal. They're going to recall those experiences to pull back from.
A lot of times, if you see a team pull an upset, you'll see offensively they do a trick play or a fake here. Can you do that on defense, or can you mix something in, or do you just kind of do what you do best, kind of thing?
Yeah, I think every week you don't want to go out there and show the same alignments as the previous week, whether it's offense, defense. I think coaches and coordinators are too good; they'll lock in on you. Players they watch too much film; they'll lock in, and you made their job easy. So it may not be a trick play defense, but I think you give them some new looks that they have to adjust to throughout the game. That's kind of our, throw the curveball at them, so to speak. A lot of baseball analogies today. It's because the Braves are doing really well right now. I'm assuming so. I haven't watched the game in a while, but that's kind of our MO is just kind of, hey, try to keep them off balance by changing up what we do, but still keep it simple and sound for our guys, so they can go play fast, they can go play physical, and play the brand of football that we used to see.
Talked to Tegan on media day, and he said, he trusts you and Mike Houston. Whatever you say is true, no matter what you say.
That's nice.
He also said there is an open line of communication where him and Julius guys can go to you. Can you kind of talk about that, where they say, "Hey, coach, this might work better this way"? What's that communication?
Yeah, and I think we always ask those guys, "What do you feel comfortable with?" Hey, what's I asked my guys yesterday, like, hey, what's the most comfortable defense if you had to know, like, here's the one call we can get into, we can play any look we see, and they'll give it to you. And I think that's very important as a coach, that you kind of get a feel for their comfort level. Obviously, you're going to put them in the best situation to be successful, but if they don't feel comfortable in it, there's probably a reason why. Maybe you're stressing them in certain situations, or I just didn't have enough reps at it. So I think as a coach, you got to have the final decision. You got to take charge and be confident in that, and make sure it's ready to go. But at the same time, you better be listening to your players, because they're the ones that got to go out there and play. I tell them this all the time. I said, hey, the check you make to a backfield set, or to a formation set, or to a receiver set, I said, ride with it. I said, if we're all wrong, we're all right. We're all on the same page. And we'll all 11 play together and ride that way. So you guys are the ones got to line up and play and see it. I may see it one way from the box or from the sideline or from the film, but I'm sitting down, drinking Diet Mountain Dews and eating tater chips. That's pretty easy. You're the ones that got, just ran a 40-yard dash across the field, and I got to line up and play it again and go tackle it. They're really good tailbacks and good receivers and stuff. So, be on the same page. It's called out there, and let's go play. Be confident about it when you make that call.